Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start by giving infinite honors and praises to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Harachakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. All right, and this lesson is going to be entitled Self-Control in Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi is the best control. Self-control in Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi is the best control. All right, and the scriptures commands us to be temperate. They command us to show restraint. They command us to be discreet. They command us to be a balance. All right, we ought to show forth that, especially in these times where the world is losing its self-control. It's losing its grips. All right, the society it has no restraints, all right, for lack of better words. Okay, anything goes here, do as thou will in the society, man. And it's completely turned upside down in a society full of confusion. All right, if you come to serve the Lord, you have to not only prepare yourself for temptation, but you also have to have self-control in Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. And I'm going to just start with a simple definition of self-control. It says the ability to control oneself, in particular one's emotions and desires, are the expression of them in one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. Before I go to 1 Corinthians 9, all right, let me get this really quick. This is Sirach chapter 21, verse 20. It says, a fool lifteth up his voice with laughter, but a wise man does scarce smile a little. And why is that wise man scarcely smiling a little? Right? Because that wise man is ultimately circumspect. All right. He's ultimately knowing the times that he's living in. All right. Not only that, but he's walking in that. OK, meaning what? Certain times call for certain requirements or a certain taking up of things, which is discipline. All right. So we know that the society is totally and completely unglued, and having self-control in certain matters in your own life, all right, in your own personal weaknesses, having self-control is going to separate you in these times where the world is losing control. So it says, a fool lifted up his voice with laughter, but a wise man does scarcely smile a little. Why? Because wisdom dwelleth in the house of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. So that wise man is dwelling with wisdom, and wisdom is telling him to prepare, take cautions, be prudent, look around the corner. All right, be proactive. All those things are going to take you to the next level within yourself, man, in these times. Because let's not forget, all right, we have to fill the shoes of not only our ancient forefathers, but this lot that we're, Lord willing, going to transition into, man, which is those celestial or heavenly bodies, man. All right. So it said, similar to self-control is self-discipline, which is the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses, the ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abound it. As we said earlier, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation, set thine heart aright, and constantly endure. Meaning what? Constantly level up. Constantly roll with the punches, constantly battle through it, put on the whole armor of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. All right. And we know that we don't operate on our own accords and we don't have free will. So ultimately, you have to be self-disciplined in Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, or have self-control in Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, man, which is the word, which is his truth, following the law, statutes, and commandments. Because you can't just be or have self-control in the world, man. All right. And what I mean by that is, or for the world. OK, you got to do it within the guidelines of the scriptures. All right. You have to have a guide. So you have certain athletes. And what I mean by that last statement is you have certain athletes that train year round. They have self-control. They don't indulge in certain meats, a certain diet. All right. But they do it to get ultimately that medal, something that can deteriorate, something that can become tarnished or rust. But we're doing it for something that's heavenly. All right. So it said his observance of his diet was a show of tremendous willpower and self-discipline. All right, meaning being strict. And we got to be strict onto our bodies, got to be strict with our minds, with our thoughts, the things we think. All right, because the things you think, all right, can ultimately become the things you do. Okay, the scriptures tell you a foolish thought is sin. So we gotta bring our minds under ultimately the law, man. Let's get it. Bear with me. Kind of 2 Timothy 2, and I'm going to get in the NLT. After I get in the KJV, 2 Timothy 2 and 5, and if a man also strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully. So you're not going to ultimately obtain that crown if you're not striving for these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. So you could be likened unto the world year round. You're preparing for a marathon you're going to run, or you're trying to meet a weight loss goal, or you're trying to cut certain things out of your diet for your health benefits. All right. But if you're not doing the will of Yahawashi, all right, you're building in vain. This is Psalms 127 and 1, a song of degrees for Solomon. Except the Lord Yahawah build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchmen wake it, but in vain. So if the Lord, all right, did not build the house, okay, then what are you building for? Okay, you building for nothing. So if you're actually trying to have self-control or maintain self-discipline, and it's not in the Lord, it's not according to these laws, statutes, and commandments, it's not according to the Bible, all right? It's not according to faith in Yahawashi, then you're building in vain pretty much. All right, so that's why I labeled it self-controlling in Yahawashi specifically, all right, is the best control, because you could be doing a strict lifestyle for certain things in the world. You could be studying for an exam, all right? You could be trying to get a license. You could be trying to get a certification or a certificate, all right? Or trying to get a certain card that levels you up in the society, or gives you a promotion, or gets you more money, all right? But if you're not ultimately calling on Yahawashi, all right, if you're not following these laws, statutes, and commandments, then your work is for nothing, all right? So 2 Timothy 2 and 5, again, and if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully. That's right. That's how you're ultimately going to get the incorruptible crown. Because if you're not striving lawfully, then everything you're going to be striving for is in vain. It's going to be for what moth and dust corrupt, and what fools can ultimately come in and steal. And that starts with your mind. Like it tells you in the book of Romans, it tells you be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When you renew your mind, you put off that old man. You become a new creature. All right. New goes into refresh. All right. So you're refreshed. Your memory is refreshed. All right. You're brought back to these laws, statutes, and commandments of how to do things, what not to do, what to do, how to have discretion, what to eat. All right. What to consume. And that may be actual foods as in meat, or maybe actual doctrine, man. Because we got to be sound in all things. You got to be sound in what you actually intake in your body, as well as in the doctrine that you intake in your mind, man, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments. So it says in the NLT, 2 Timothy 2 and 5 in the NLT, and athletes cannot win the prize unless they follow the rules. You see? And athletes cannot win the prize unless they follow the rules. So if you're not following the rules of Yahawashi, you're not going to get that celestial crown. You're not going to get that incorruptible crown, right? You're going to have a corruptible crown, if that, man, because we know ultimately the society is coming to a conclusion. So all those that labor, all right, and work for Egypt, they're soon going to be out of work. The scriptures tell you that the grinding is going to cease. So ultimately that comes with knowing the scriptures. All right. Let me get it real quick. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians 9. I'll get it in the blue letter. Right. This is 1 Corinthians 9. I'll read it in the KJV first. 1 Corinthians 9 and 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. See, one receiveth the prize. Now, who's that one that's amongst all those competitors in that race preparing? All right. Girding up his loins. All right. Being mindful of the things that he puts in his body as well as his mind. All right. Preparing for that great day. That's likened on to the elect, man. Only one will receive the prize. All right. Only one will receive the kingdom of heaven. And that's the elect of the house of Israel, man. You so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes who are laboring, all right, in this race of faith. All right. Faith in who, what, when, where. Faith in Yahawashi, Sham, man. It says 1 Corinthians 9 and 24 again. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. The scriptures tell you in the book of Habakkuk how to run. Let me get it real quick, Salakia. It's Habakkuk 2 and 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahawah answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So how do you ultimately run in this race? You got to read. You got to study to show thyself approved. All right. You got to be a good workman. You got to put out that spirit of Yahawashi that's been laid on by the hands of the presbytery through the gift of prophecy, man. The presbytery being the elders and apostles, a great millstone, man. All right. Who've laid that foundation. All right. And built up a spiritual temple in Yahawashi. So a part of being in that spiritual temple, all those men, all right, that are building up that house, that are pillars in the temple, they have self-control in Yahawashi, man. All right, by the renewing of the mind. So it says, verse 25, read it again. Habakkuk 2 and 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that brings me to another one. This is Psalm 68 and 11. The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. That's right. And we published this word. We published the ways of Yahawashi, all right? This new song, Fear Yahawashi. America's going to be taken down, and ultimately don't take the charagma, man, as well as taking these stumbling blocks before our people. All right. And these strongholds that have been placed on them by the world, man. Telling them, hey, look, don't be such a beast anymore, right? As the scriptures tell you. This is Psalms 49 and 12. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perish. So if you're without these laws, statutes, and commandments, that's like having no honor. All right. So if you don't have this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, that breath of life, you're like a beast that perish. So we go out on the highways and byways and we turn our people from those beasts or having that beast-like mindset unto that elect, that king-like mindset, that ruling class mentality, which comes by the law, statutes, and commandments, by this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. All right. That's what separates us from beasts, because beasts can't reason. All right. Scriptures tell you in Ecclesiastes 3rd chapter, spirit of man goeth upward, the spirit of beast goeth downward, man. All right. Well, return it onto where it was. Okay. So that's likened on to us. We're in that beast-like mindset. If we're not walking in these laws, statutes, and commandments, we're like a beast. So 1 Corinthians 9:25, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Now I want to get that word corruptible, and I want to get the word incorruptible.
Strong's G 5349. Thartos.
or tas, it says corruptible, perishing. To corrupt, to destroy. You see? Corrupt, perishing, man. And that's likened unto us. That's why it said in Psalms 49 and 12, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not, he is like the beast that perish, right? Corruptible. But let's go to incorruptible, man. That's what ultimately we're laboring to obtain, that incorruptible crown. That crown that will, its magnificence and honor and glory will never wear off, man. It can never tarnish. It says uncorrupted, not liable to corruption or decay, imperishable. It says immortal. There you go. Of the risen dead. And that's likened unto us. We rose from the dead through this marvelous light, man. This is Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. You see, and that's likened onto other philosophies, other doctrines. That's likened onto America. America's likened onto a woman, that whore that sit upon, all right, these other nations, all right? American is European allies, EU and the NATO, okay? And we ultimately know that what? The Lord commanded us to stay away from that strange woman, man. And we see the strange woman every day, all right? In many ways. But the Lord tells us to keep still ahead, walk that narrow path, and I will give thee a crown of life. And it's easier said than done. That's why you have to use this word to guide that dark path. That's why it says, Proverbs 6:23, for the commandment is a lamp and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. You see, so you're being reproved, you're being instructed down that dark path, all right, with these commandments, all right, with the law, faith in Yahawashi, right? And now you're able to see clearly these things. Now you're able to come into that mode of self-control and self-discipline in Yahawashi, man. More than that old man who was just having no control. Anything goes, man. I'm going to just eat anything. I'm going to commit any type of sin. Oh, man, the scriptures calls us to come from out of that darkness into this marvelous light. So let's go back, 1 Corinthians 9 and 25 again. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. And I want to get that word. It's that word temperate. It says, of persons modest, forbearing, self-restrained, not swayed by passion. You see? Not swayed by passion meaning what? You're not giving over to your emotions. All right? You're not giving over to the flesh. You're not giving over to carnality. Right? You're not thinking with, like Jake say in the world, a little man. You're thinking with, all right, the spirit and power of Yahawashi that's guiding you now. You're not making those old and past mistakes that dragged you in the mud, that dragged you to hell, man. All right? To slavery, to that hellish mindset, that Hellenized mindset, man. It says moderate, sober, calm, steady. Scriptures tell you be sober and watch. That means have self-control, all right? Have self-discipline. That's going to save your life in these times, man. All right? In a society that has no control, anything goes here, man. Wickedness is overflowing in that cup, but guess what? The wicked will drink it down to the dregs. And those that remain temperate, steady, calm, sober, in Yahawashi, having that self-control, all right, they will prevail. 1 Corinthians 9 and 26, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Right, in vain. laboring in vain, all right? But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So you got to keep your own body under subjection in order to do the Lord's work. Or else when you preach to others, you'll be a hypocrite because you're not actually doing what you're saying. All right? Hey, and that was heavy, man. Apostle Paul, straight up. We got to run this race not for that corruptible crown, not for corruptible intentions, man. We got to run it for the overall picture, which is the kingdom of heaven. 1 Corinthians 9:24 in the NLT. Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. You see? They do it for a prize that'll fade away. 20 years later, 40 years later, all right, those Olympians, they won't be remembered as they once were, all right, that night that they got that medal, man, and stood on that podium, okay? But guess what? The elect of Yahawashi, all right, who follow the Lamb, whatsoever you go, from glory to glory, ultimately to this next glory, which is those incorruptible bodies, all right, it's worth way more than something that we could receive here in America or wherever we're scattered across the four corners. Like it said, an eternal prize. Verse 26, so I run with purpose in every step. I am not just shadow boxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. So you got to be fit to run the race as well, man. You can't just preach to others and you're not working on your own fitness. You got to be fit to run the race to be that example of what self-control, what self-discipline is in Yahawashi. Not just any old self-control, not just any old self-discipline, but self-discipline in the Lord, man. And it's some by the true Hebrew names. I'm going to say, Kal Halayim, La Yahawah, Hashem Yahawashi, Hashem Harachakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and the teachers and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Call Allah Yahawah Bashim Yahshai Bahashim Harachakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.